Welcome to the Bear Talk, your go-to Chicago Bears podcast, where a father and son break down all things Bears, from Soldier Field to Sunday showdowns. I'm your host, Dylan Weaver, and I'm joined here with my dad. How we doing, Dad? Another post-game reaction victory, nail-biter, 2 weeks in a row now, but hey, a win's a win. 3-2, the Bears improved too, but what a game, man.
15-2 is still alive. Monday Night Football, what an event. Obviously, it's pretty late here on a Monday night, but the Bears win, right? I mean, granted, we had to play against two teams tonight. I mean, we're playing against the Commanders and the refs. I mean, anytime you got to go against two teams in order to win a game, that's a tough matchup to handle. Shout out to Moody. Uh,
Yeah, what a freaking
what a
game,
what
man.
a game! What a story he's got, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just amazing. It feels good. It feels good to have a Bears win on a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, and like you said, Jake Moody, all props to him. 4 for 5 on field goals. He redeemed himself, missed one where he clearly just didn't get under the ball enough, and it was so low trajectory that even the announcer said the defensive lineman could have just stuck their hand up without even jumping and blocked it. But
Yo,
it
yo,
doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, he sealed it. And those weather conditions, I mean, the wind swirling, rain's coming down like madness, and he drills the kick. Um, I guess I'll admit it here on the podcast. I walked away and I had you call me and let me know if the Bears won. I couldn't take it. Um, those type of games, as much as when it comes down to stuff like that, especially in those conditions, as soon as I heard you say Jake Moody 4 for 5, I knew he made it. And what a sigh of relief it was. And we talked about it in our last post game against the Raiders, but the Bears have been on the wrong side of these games for far too long. And once again, the Ben Johnson culture, hang in there from leading the whole game until late in the fourth quarter, and they still find a way at the end of the day to go execute and win a football game. And you couldn't ask for much as a Bears fan. The tides are turning around here, but wow, man, what a game.
it was an amazing game. I just wanted to reiterate there for a second. You mentioned what the announcers said or were saying. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman.
Yeah,
I
get
don't
off.
care
Yeah.
what they were talking about as far as the trajectory of the ball because that whole broadcast by them, I've never seen such bias in my life when it comes to uh, an NFL team and how they were reacting to Caleb and Swift and just all the players out there for the Bears team. Give a like, comment, or share if you agree with that. I mean, it was absolutely horrendous. The commentary going on from that booth tonight, and you know, it's a nationally televised game. There shouldn't
Everyone's
be any
watching. Yeah.
should be no home cooking involved in it. It wasn't like we were watching the broadcast from Washington and it was, the locals. We're talking, professionals, air quotes, who clearly from the first kickoff all
Yeah,
the way
you
through
can
the
just
game
tell. Yeah.
were just all about Jaden Daniels this and Jaden and the Commanders and oh my God, and it's the best team since sliced bread. Um, I, I I think Quinn might have slipped the ref $50 to try to get some of those calls he was getting. It was horrible. I mean, I'm glad we came out with a win, and it wasn't the prettiest win of all wins, but that's disheartening to see a game like that, especially on national televised, ESPN. They should do better.
Yeah, and I'll touch on the refs too real quick, and then let's move on because the Bears deserve all the praise, both sides of the ball. I mean, it was beautiful display from both sides of the ball through and throughout that game. But like you said, especially with the commentators, I remember clear as day. This was so early in the game. Caleb hit Luther Burden in stride on like a 30-yard ball down the field that ended up going for like 40, 50 yards. And I think it was I'll give credit to Joe Buck. I don't think Joe Buck was the main one, but I noticed multiple times from Aikman that play I was just referencing. Caleb hit Luther Burden in perfect stride with the defender right onto his back. Luther Burden catches it yards after catch. And then you have Troy Aikman say, yeah, Caleb's kind of late getting to that ball, and he's honestly lucky it didn't get intercepted. The ball was right on Luther Burden's chest in perfect stride. And it was just egregious. And I will give them a little bit of props because some of the bullcrap penalties that did happen, they did speak up, specifically that one, that Roma Dunze touchdown they wiped off the board where they called Theo Benedict lined up too far back. When you go back and look at it, all their helmets are lined up with Drew Dahlman's butt, which is where they're supposed to be. And they did, there was a couple of calls where they did agree that it was an egregious call by the refs. But like you said, for the majority part, I remember early too, the Bears were up 13-0 and they're like, Jaden Daniels looks calm, like nothing even matters, this, that, and the other. And it's like, this has got to stop. And the headlines tomorrow better be, not only did the Bears win, Caleb Williams did outplay Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels had an interception on their opening drive, and that last drive of the game, he was the reason that ball was fumbled, literally throwing the ball into his running back's chest, bounces off his chest pride. And Nashawn Wright, way to be a heads-up player and get on that ball, because he was probably the one player on the Bears defense who was struggling today with penalties and then also just getting beat a lot of times one-on-one. But hey, end of the game, where it matters, he did come up with that fumble, which was massive, gave the Bears a chance to at least go and win the game and give them a chance, and they executed. But let's hop on to the more positive stuff. I'm done with the negativity. I was losing my mind. We both were. We watched the game together today. It's pretty cool. With technology, we can do that nowadays. You're in a different state, but we still get to enjoy a football game together. And this was our first time doing it this year, and I think we're going to have to do it going forward because it was amazing to be able to watch a game. Instead, we're usually calling each other back and forth between drives. It was just really cool to watch a game with you. And it sucks we can't watch it in person, but I really do enjoy getting to watch those games with you because life's short and you never know how many of you are going to get. But I really do enjoy it, Dad, from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, it was absolutely a good experience. The older I get, it's amazing technology how it catches up, and I've always loved being able to watch football games with you or go to a game with you. But to be able to find a new way to be able to do this and spend that valuable time together versus the text message or the call in between commercials, um, it was special. I'll say that one for the memory banks, for sure, to watch that game with you the way we did it today. So let's get into the positive stuff.
Yeah,
DeAndre Swift.
I was going to start too. I'll just read some of the stat lines from tonight's game. Let me pull it up real quick. I have it right here. But it was definitely a great win by the Bears in this game. If you want to just give me 1 second, I will pull it up. If you want to talk a little bit about DeAndre Swift, I know you were heading in that direction. Why don't you take it off there?
Yeah, I mean, we covered in the episode 2 episodes ago in the Ben Johnson effect where we were kind of surprised at looking at the rushing yards, right, from 2024 to 2025 and how we have improved, although it didn't look like it on the field, but the numbers never lie. And then you get into this game where we're a little concerned, right, with the weather conditions and their run defense was going to be a problem or an opportunity for us. And DeAndre Swift came out plus 100, 67 yards, I think, through the air as well. Almost a 200-yard game all around from him, all purpose yards. Um, heck of a game from DeAndre Swift. I really appreciated him and helped us out a lot. So what's the magic stat say for him?
Yeah, so I'll just run through the offense in general since we're on them. Caleb Williams, not a good completion percentage night. There was some drops in there, but Caleb also did have some of his accuracy problems early in the game. Couple of them too. That one that really sticks out is early in the game, that Luther Burden. It looked like he ran a wrong route. Caleb kind of talked to him, got through it, but 17 for 29 for Caleb. That's a 59% completion percentage. Not great at all. Just being honest. 252 passing yards, though. 8.7 average yards, 1 touchdown. He did take 3 sacks today. And he also did have 1 rushing touchdown. His official rushing stats, it's crazy. It probably because of that sack, but he did have 4 carries for -2 yards. That 1 sack he took right before halftime to burn the Commanders' timeout. He stayed in bounds and took a pretty big hit by one of their linebackers. But 98.6 rating out of Caleb Williams today. And then, like you just touched on, DeAndre Swift, man, what a game. 14 carries on the ground for 108 rushing yards, 7.7 yards per carry. And in the receiving game, 2 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown on the passing game today. That comes out to 175 total purpose yards. Wow, what a game from DeAndre Swift. And like you said, we've been kind of hard on him here, but I think he proved to us today, not only did the O-line step up, those holes were massive for him today. And let's not shy away either from the fact that this Washington Commanders defense, especially their run defense, was top 5 in the league coming into this game statistically. And we were running like if you were to take away the teams and just present the stats, you would think it was flipped the rushing the way it ended today because it was like the what we thought coming in, it was the complete opposite for both teams. But really cool to see. And since we're on the offense, I just got to make it real clear because last year it was Jaden Daniels this, Jaden Daniels that. Caleb Williams outplayed Jaden Daniels in this head-to-head matchup unlike last year, and Caleb Williams is having a better second year than Jaden Daniels thus far. Long season, but so far Caleb Williams is doing his thing. But on the DeAndre Swift topic, hats off to him. Very hard running today. When he saw the hole, there was no hesitation. He was hitting it. But I want to give a huge shout out to the offensive line because those holes that were made today, wow. I mean, some of those you could have drove a car through some of those holes. And to do that against this rushing defense is a huge, massive thing for the Bears. And I want to shout out one specific player, Theo Benedict. Your first start, yes, you played in that in that Las Vegas game, but your first start at left tackle. Round of applause for Theo Benedict, man. He played his tail off in a lot of those running plays. You saw him sealing his guy off to create that hole. Just an awesome game from Theo Benedict, and you earned it, man. We haven't seen this running game, and who knows, it might have simply been a one-person change. I think a lot of it, too, had to do with Ben Johnson probably schemed stuff up a little bit differently with this 2-week period with the bye week, but props to you for scheming things up, and then obviously anytime the running game is this good, you have to give props to the O-line. That means they're sealing their blocks, get into the second level, and there's holes wide open for these running backs to run through. Kyle Monangai, too. I mean, he had some tough runs, only ended up having 5 carries for 20 yards today, but that's 4 yards a carry, and that's what we need to see. And I saw a good burst from him. You saw those tough yards from him, but I just really wanted to shout out the running backs because I feel like it was their game today for the offense, and they really helped us pull through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, between the running backs and Jake Moody, which thank goodness I'm going to be kind of in a happy moody tomorrow because of the Bears win tonight. Um, just all around real exciting game. Just disappointing that the refs and the commentators put a negative taste in my mouth from watching it. But nonetheless, we come away with the win. Super excited about. Couldn't ask for anything more. Uh, we move on to the next game as we prep for it for next week. Um, Overall, though, really exciting to see the play we had. And you think about Jake Moody too. You look at the yardage on those field goals.
Yeah, they
He,
were 45 plus for most of them until that
yeah,
game-winning one. It was that game-winning one, not that it was a chip shot, but in the NFL, yes, it is a chip shot. But with that weather, you never know what could happen. Torrey Taylor could have muffed the snap. Good on Torrey for holding it, getting the ball. You saw him put a glove on, which was highly smart. Probably had those things packed up in a Ziploc bag. And then right when it was time to go, put that thing on. Don't touch anything until that ball touches your hands. But props to the
I
whole special teams for executing on that final play of the game.
yeah, and I know you didn't watch. You kind of ran away from the monitor while we're watching the game, but this is the part where the announcers scared the crap out of me
Oh God.
because if you're watching the game, they purposely call out, "There's the wet ball on the field," and, "Oh, they're changing it out with the kicking ball that's gonna be drier than the ball that's been
Oh, so
laying
they
there."
almost kicked it with a wet ball.
Well, it's not that they almost did it, but it was like they were trying to foreshadow that,
Like
"Oh, because
it's
the
yeah.
ball, it's gonna happen." Um,
Yeah, I heard from one of my buddies too that kick started off and looked like it was gonna miss and it like hooked in or something. Is that true or was it pretty
it looked good to me.
okay? One of my buddies after the game, I was talking to him as well, and he was saying that at first when it came off, like when that first initial kick, it looked like it was going to be a little bit to the right or left. I forget what he said. And then it like curved in, but they probably played that to the wind because that wind was seriously going. I talked about in our pregame show that 30-mile-per-hour gust winds, they really started to kick in there towards the end of the game. But both of us got our MVPs wrong for the offense. I think it's pretty clear this one goes to DeAndre Swift today and the O-line for sure. But Zacchaeus definitely had his chance to win that MVP because that play when the Bears were backed up on their 2-yard line, Caleb hits him in a perfect chest on a slant route. Bobby Wagner was guarding him. They were in man coverage. There was nobody. It could have been it would have been a 90-yard touchdown with all Zacchaeus would have had to do was make a move on a safety. He makes the move. It's a touchdown. He had his moment and he let it slip away. But I think it's pretty clear after the game, it's DeAndre Swift. And I'd give an honorable mention to the O-line, but mostly DeAndre Swift. He's the one hitting the holes, running through them. But
you had a lot of bursts tonight.
What a game. But let's shift over to the defense. I do have some defensive statistics. Tremaine Edmonds, man, he's starting to play like that big boy contract. He's playing some of his best ball since we got him over from the Buffalo Bills. Leads our team today in total tackles, 13 on the day. And guess what? The other linebacker that we really needed to step up and get back after being hurt, TJ Edwards, right behind him with 9 tackles. 2 good games from them. Kevin Byard, Nahshon Wright, Shamar Turner, all 3 had tackles for losses. Nahshon Wright is bad as a game too. He had a pass deflection, also had that fumble recovery, and a couple of QB hits in here. Jervon Dexter, Dominique Robinson. Sweat would have had a couple, but some, BS roughing the passer calls that were in there. I did want to just talk about too, Jaquan Brisker with the huge interception in the beginning of the game. The Commanders looked like they were driving down the field. Could have went up 7-3, but Jaquan Brisker baits Jaden Daniels into a little seam route to Debo. Jaquan jumps that ball, brings it back to about the 40-yard line. Montez Sweat, shout out to you. If you're not getting to the quarterback, you better be effective in another way, and he sure as hell was. Knocks the ball out. Yep. Forces the fumble on the running back. We'll call him Bill, as the Commanders fan call him, but forces the fumble. It was funny, too, because there was a Commanders lineman that could have literally just sat on the ball, and these old linemen, they're pretty unathletic. That's why they're linemen out there, and he tries to jump on it. The ball goes between his legs. Next thing you know, the Bears come up with it. And then the other fumble, Nahshon Wright hopping on that ball at the end of the game. So props to them, especially, I will say, like I already mentioned earlier, Nahshon Wright, he had a really rough game today. He was kind of getting exposed against some receivers that were making their first debut today in the NFL, and he was giving up some plays, causing some big penalties on third downs. And granted, some of those were probably questionable penalties, but nonetheless, he wasn't playing his best ball today. But when it mattered, he was in the right spot, jumped on that football, could have easily kicked it or hit off his knee, goes flying back to them, and Jaden Daniels could jump on it. Nope, he falls on the ball perfectly. Bears ball right at the 50-yard line, and we know how the rest goes. But I really just want to shout out the Bears defense because listen to this. 17 carries for Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, 17 carries for 61 yards, 3.5 average yards. For a guy that came in today averaging 6.7 yards a carry, that's what you call shutting down their run game and making it non-existent. Jaden Daniels was more effective on his legs, 10 carries for 52 yards. And there was so many times we were close to sacking Jaden Daniels, but ultimately just ended up short. And now looking at the stat sheet, Jaden Daniels did have 3 sacks. It doesn't even feel like I remember 1 sack. I don't remember getting 3, but we'll take it. 3 sacks. Both him and Caleb both had 3 sacks. I will read through Jaden Daniels' stat line just for say 19 for 26. I don't know what the completion percentage comes off the top of my head. That's probably right around the low 70s if I'm doing the quick math on it. It's probably somewhere around there, low 70s, 211 passing yards, 8 yards average throw, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then we obviously know the fumble at the end of the game where he did not get the ball in the running back's chest on a crucial 3rd and 1 where they could have potentially iced the game and not even give the Bears a chance. So I just want to shout out our defense. The run defense was terrific. The passing defense, it was good for the most part. And then that second half, all of a sudden, we're blowing coverages. Like I said, Nashawn Wright blew that one coverage where they had that touchdown to Luke McCaffrey. And then
And the Tyreek
I was
Stevenson
about
one
to
of the
say
double move.
we were in that call. We're like, Tyree Stevens having an amazing game, and you said in the pregame that he was going to have a big moment in this game, and we were like, it's coming. And next play, he gets beat on a double move that luckily didn't go for a touchdown. Ultimately, did end up in a touchdown, but it was a big 30-yard play. But other than that, I would say this defense stepped up tremendously, especially too. I think I hit the nail on the head in the pregame until Noah Sewell got hurt that they were going to do this 3 linebacker thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I know stats, but as far as football and strategy goes, I don't know much. So it felt pretty good to get that one right. But right from the jump, 3 linebackers out there, their emphasis was beat us in the passing game. We're stopping your running game. And until Noah Sewell got hurt, it looked really good. And then once Noah Sewell got hurt, that's when you started to see a little bit more, not big runs, but they were going for 5 and 6 yards instead of 2 and 3 yards for their running game. But hopefully he's going to be all right because that could be a very good strategy going forward, especially against teams that do like to run the ball heavy because those 3 linebackers, they're amazing in the run defense. So props to them. Definitely good game by the defense. I don't even know who I'd give the MVP to. It's kind of hard.
You got to share it, I think, with the defense as a whole. The only thing I would call out is Dennis Allen.
Couple play calls, yeah. It was
with the 3 down linemen. I don't understand that, especially in the positions that we use that formation in. Because that's typically when we got burned, when we only had the 3 down linemen.
I was about to say, but we didn't bring this up on our show, but I know we talked about this individually. The Bears' 3rd down defense on 3rd downs is first in the NFL for just EPA, they call it, which essentially is how successful a play is. The Bears were first in the league, while on 1st and 2nd down, they were like dead last and a couple on 1st and 2nd down, but their 3rd down defense was good. And today, I remember I brought it up to you. I'm like, it was like 3rd and 15, and we only rushed 3 people. And Jaden Daniels takes off for a 1st down. It's like, I get it. He still shouldn't be able to get those yards, but at the same time, why are you giving him the chance, one, to scan the field?
Mm-hmm.
We already know the Bears can't really get to the quarterback that well this year. And I don't know why we're just rushing 3 people on a 3rd down. Send the house, make the ball come out quick, and then rally to the football. But I do agree with you. I think for the most part, at least whatever Dennis Allen did to get that run defense going, he did fix that. So huge shout out to him and shout out to the players for executing. But I would say, like you, I do agree with you that the 3rd down calls were a little bit questionable today. And sometimes too, I know he likes to send the blitzes, but sometimes too, it just looked like we were almost sending a little bit too much of people. And there was guys wide open in the flats for them to make plays yards after catch. But what a great game. Sucks Rome Odunze's touchdown streak ended off a referee call. Should have been continued, and he should be at 6 touchdowns. But nonetheless, I think the overall summary of this game is just
Bears win.
Bears revenge on the Commanders, number 1. Not only for the Bears, like we talked about, Ben Johnson gets his revenge on the team that sent him out of the playoffs last year. Caleb Williams comes in, plays better than Jaden Daniels, gets the win at the end of the day. Zacchaeus, he still made some plays in this game, but he definitely could have had a bigger impact like we talked about already with that one play. It seriously could have been a 90-yard house call. That would have been actually insane, but who knows? If he scores that, there were still 5 minutes left, maybe then the Commanders milk the clock and go off and win the game on a game-winning touchdown. You know that saying, all things happen for a reason. Maybe it was part of the game plan. But overall message, this culture, we've seen it now 2 games in a row where these close games, culture's the difference. It's the main takeaway from these 2 games. That's not, good. It's not bad coaching. It's great coaching. It's a coach that has come in year 1 and has got his team to rally behind him. That game we've seen it 1,000 times. We've seen it go the other direction where the team tucks their tail between their legs easily. When the Commanders went up and took the lead 17-16, we've seen plenty of times this Bears team tuck their tail between their legs, and we're sorry for ourselves. Ben Johnson has got these guys fighting, and I'm super excited once we get off here to go watch another post-game locker room reaction because I'm sure it was absolutely electric. And lastly, huge shout out to Caleb afterwards in that post-game interview, giving all props to the team of the Commanders, saying they are a good team. They're a high-powered offense. They have a great defense and handled the interview with class. I don't know about you, national television, but doesn't sound like a cocky, guy, drama queen, diva. It doesn't sound like any of that. Handles it with absolute class. I'm super excited to check the post-game stuff with the press conferences. And then obviously I'm first thing I'm getting off here looking at is that post-game reaction. I'm sure it was another electric speech from Ben Johnson. Good, better, best. Never let it rest till the good gets better and the better gets best. I mean, how can you not love what Ben Johnson is doing for our Chicago Bears, man? He's bringing life to this football team that we haven't seen in a long time, man.
Good stuff. All I can say is I'm happy to have invested all this time on a Monday night for a Bears win. I'm gonna go to bed, tired, but excited that we came away with a win versus going to bed mad and upset because I stayed up so late and they ended up losing. Those are the worst kind of games.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, right, we turn the page.
Turn
Next
the
week,
page onto the Saints. And this
we're
is
go-
let's wrap this up on the final thing. But these next games coming up are what we've been talking about in our pregame shows. If they found a way to win this game and win the Raiders game, these next games coming up are some serious games where we can actually do some serious damage. I know we got the Saints coming up. Then after that, we play the Ravens, who will be coming off a bye week, and Lamar and their team should be healthy. Questionable about that defense. Their defense had 8 injuries this past week where they weren't playing, 8 starters. But I think, like we said, that game now with the Ravens could seriously be a shootout. And not to bring up other rookie quarterbacks from Caleb's class, but Drake May had a big win against Josh Allen last week in prime time. Let's have Caleb go in a shootout with Lamar Jackson and come out on the other side. Because after that is when it seriously, I believe we got the Giants coming up after that, the Browns. We go back to the Vikings and the Bengals as well. There's a lot of winnable, favorable games coming up for the Bears. And it's exactly like we talked about. Win these games. It's very important to go in this 6-game stretch, 5-1, 4-2 at worst. And they started it off today with now with the Raiders too. They started off 2-0. They're off to a great start. If they can win these next 6 games and get to 8 wins before those last 7 games of the season, the Bears seriously have a chance at getting a playoff spot, which is all you can ask for in year 1 with Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson said in the beginning of the year, we're going to be playing our best ball in December and January. And so far, that trajectory, I think the passing game kind of stayed kind of level this week where it didn't really take a jump, but it was kind of, I would say it was better than the Raiders game for sure, but it didn't take a big jump. But the running game, I mean, it went from rock bottom to about as high as you can get with DeAndre Swift in there. So let's continue that success because if this trajectory keeps going up, you never know what could happen in the playoffs. It's a long season, and the back half of our schedule is where it does get really tough. We got to face our division rivals, the Packers, twice. We got the Lions one more time. We got the 49ers in there who are red hot, the Eagles who are questionable but still a good football team at the end of the day. So these wins coming up are going to be really important, and you cannot throw away any of these opportunities that we have coming our way. But like you said, what a way to end this long-awaited game that feels like we've been waiting a month for. Huge win. And like you said, you're going to go to sleep happy. You might not even sleep for another hour because all this adrenaline that we just had for the past 3 hours of this game.
No, I'm getting old. I'm gonna fall asleep really easily.
Yeah. But if you want to wrap it up, any final thoughts that you got before we head out of here?
Just glad to share the game with you. It's a nice way to share a victory, and it's one for the memory banks. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said earlier, it was a pleasure watching with you. I enjoy it thoroughly. We're definitely going to be doing that going forward for sure because it was fun. We both get to watch it at the same time. We're not ahead of each other, and we're getting to live react to the game we love and the team we love. So it was awesome.
Wasn't there one more stat though? Didn't you say that the Bears are typically 1-10 after bye weeks?
Yep, Bears are 1-10 after bye week since 2014. Ben Johnson now after the bye week 1-0. Great stat. Right again, put up, I think, what was the final score? 25-24.
Hmm.
Put up 25 points, which is right where our points per game average was. I think we did on that episode early last week or
Yep.
earlier this week. They were right at like 25.6. So right again. And to be honest, with the refs, we already mentioned it. I don't want to keep repeating it, but the Bears could have put up 30 something points this game if these refs knew how to officiate a game.
Oh, they know how.
Yeah, they know how, but they got the call from Vegas or somebody, and it's it's honestly crazy, and that's why this win feels that much better because it was not handed to us one bit. We had to work every ounce for this game,
Yeah.
and like you said, we weren't just playing the Commanders; we were playing the refs as well. And like I mentioned many times on this show, I don't like to blame refs in games,
Hmm.
especially because they're going to get calls wrong. It happens. But when it's blatant, obvious calls that are just normal rules, and I don't even know what the penalty differential was, but it was a lot to a little, and it was clear as day. And I thought the funniest one, you even brought it up. Jaden Daniels throws the ball to no man's land, and it's like they're sitting there like, was it intentional grounding? Which don't get me wrong, the refs always do group up and talk about it before they throw that intentional grounding flag. But it was like 2 minutes before they threw it. Like, brother, there was nobody in the area. Throw the flag on the ground and move on.
Uh-huh.
But that will do it for this episode. Once again, Dad, enjoyed watching the game with you. Bears win. 3 post-game victory shows in a row. The good juju is working. Same shirt. I took off my Bears hat because I'm so crazy. I'm going to keep predicting the Bears to lose. Hint, hint, wink, wink. They're going to win the game. We're keeping the good juju rolling. But
15-2, baby.
15-2 is still alive for you. 10-7 for me is definitely alive more than ever. But I do just want to say before we head out of here, we do appreciate all you guys watching this video, whether it's 100 of you guys or 500 of you guys, like our most viewed video. We appreciate it. We're just enjoying talking Bears with people like you guys that love the game of football. Whether you're a diehard or a casual fan, we love them all. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Drop your guys' thoughts on the officials this game and how you thought the game ended up turning out. But that will wrap it up for this episode. We greatly appreciate you guys. We will catch you next week on a pregame coverage against the New Orleans Saints. But for now, bear
Bear
down.
down.